Let's do it.
We are now live and recording. Um, so you can go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Core Office Hours number 80. And usually, this is hosted by Keone Cha with Jose and Mary. But we have an emergency. And with that emergency, we have a response team. And we call that team the Core Emergency Response System. And we are your facilitators for today. I am Patricia Maliksi, and I believe in positivity, encouragement, and consistency.
My name is Aurelio. Everyone knows me by Pape. I'm based in Panama City, and my superpowers are feeling, creativity, and flow.
Hey everyone, I'm Tino. I'm based in Los Angeles, and my superpowers are not cowboy, but empathy, resilience, and collaboration.
Hello everyone, I'm Sergio Ariza, based in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, and my three core values are curiosity, patience, and clarity. Thank you for being here.
So, we are your today's hosts and facilitators. So, bienvenido, hola, ni hao, bonjour, kumusta from Manila, and wherever you
¿Qué
are.
onda?
Wherever you are from your side of the city or country, we are entering a portal. So, what is the system? Our mission is to activate, educate, and support a decentralized global creative community in finding their purpose, growing their careers, and leading the future of creativity. Our vision is to redesign the world from the inside out. So, this is co-creation, and you guys are witnessing it live right now because this episode is brought to you by co-creation. So, we are the system. Elmo! And this is brought to you by Core Brand Discovery Foundations. If you'd like to know more about it, please visit coreismagic.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So for today's agenda, we'll have the drop-in at 15 minutes, our special presentation from our birthday boy, today's his birthday, by the way, Sergio Ariza.
Happy birthday, Sergio!
Happy
Happy birthday.
And
Happy birthday.
oh, there you go from the community, Sergio. Core Q&A at 30 minutes. We have the theme on creating courses at 5 and the upload. So, our favorite part. Oh, before that, our broadcast is Monday, we have Clubhouse, and Wednesdays, core office hours, same time. Friday, design therapy, and also if you can subscribe to the Systm podcast on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. So, let's go to our favorite part, the drop-in. So, we will model it for you. Please share your name, location, what you do, and what is your experience learning during this digital online revolution. So, I'll model it. My name is Patricia Maliksi from Manila, Philippines. What I do is I'm a brand strategist, and what my experience in learning is that I'm a self-taught brand strategist. I was previously an account manager, and all that I know now is from searching online, YouTube videos, improving myself through books, and I feel like the internet is really helpful in my growth, especially of where I am now. So, Pape, can you model it for us?
Yes, thank you, Patricia, for that. So my name is Pape. I'm based in Panama City. I'm an artist slash illustrator slash pizzaiolo, muralist. My experience learning has been I didn't go to university. I haven't had like a formal education or the formal path that most people take. I'm used to learn mostly on my own and through watching other people do and understanding how they do it and doing that reverse engineering and also a lot of online courses. Uh, so yeah, my experience has been quite fun, but also sometimes messy, and I think it was hard to for me sometimes to align my purpose to my learning and getting the right steps forward to achieve where I wanted to go. So yeah, that I'm Pape, and before moving on with Tino, I would like to encourage people today to feel free to talk. You can drop in the chat, and also just unmute yourself and share your story, because that's how we learn here. So Tino.
Yeah, thank you, Pape. So my name is Tino. I am a UX designer, strategist, and a budding consultant. That's what I want to do. And my experience learning during the digital revolution has been a mix of traditional schooling. You know, I went to college and I graduated with a degree, but it's been a continuous path of learning online, taking courses, online through various sources, through Coursera, through Udemy, but also learning through kits. The core kit is one of the first kits that I picked up quite a few years ago, and it's been one of the most helpful, to be honest. So it's been just a constant hunger to keep learning and upgrading myself. And to this day, I'm about 15, 16 years in my career. And every day I want to improve myself. I want to get better in different aspects of my career. So in facilitation, in strategy, in design as well. I'm still a UX designer, and I want to keep up with keep up the pace. So I continue taking online courses for that, or learning just via YouTube tutorials, things like that. So there's different ways that I always want to upgrade myself. And one of the best ways that I've done so now is doing it through a community like this, like what we're in right now, the Systm. And that's learning from each other, helping, teaching, and also learning from others. So yo soy Tino, and I am complete. And Sergio, do you want to chime in on this?
Yeah, let me go last. I think Arsenije has his hand up. So if I go last, I can go on with the theme of today's meeting.
So Ars, would you like to drop in, please?
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm Aksenije from Belgrade, Serbia. So what I do, I am developer and strategist. And basically both things I was self-taught and I learned on the internet. And my experience learning during the digital revolution is basically, as a kid, I was hanging a lot on the online forums, and that was basically how I started with hip hop and learning these type of things. But after it, I went to college and studied the sound, and I'm by profession the audio engineer. But after that, I started learning programming on my own, and yeah, basically that's the only way that I learn. But also before becoming a part of this community, I didn't realize how easy it was when you have community to share challenges and struggles that you have on your road. Because before I was learning on my own, but without community, and I think it is possible, but it takes much more time because you're blind of your own blind spots.
Thank you, Ars. And I totally agree on the community, and I feel like this is a sample of that today. So thank you for sharing. And we also have Andrea raising her hand. Andrea, would you like to share your drop in?
Hi everyone, so glad I could make it back. I could never make it to Wednesday, so I'm so excited. And my name is Andrea, also Ava on social media and like my artistic name. My location, I'm originally from Venezuela, grew up in Connecticut, and right now I'm between Panama and Miami, which is fun and really interesting. What do I do? Right now, I'm shifting from graphic design into my art, just like my entire project that it has like a lot of the things I love between design, concept thinking, character design. I want to get into more into music, so I'm trying to co-create and connect with more people, and which adds to what is my experience learning during this digital online revolution. I've learned everything um, about my art through it. Every time I will do a personal project connected maybe to something I'll share online or see someone else doing it and be like, I like that, I'll try to do it. And before I was kind of just learning on my own, trying to figure myself out a lot. And now my what I've been learning a lot is through community, and like I found this through Clubhouse and also Pape, who shares a lot of it. So I was like, whoa, love it. And my goal with this is to keep connected and keep learning from like pretty much every aspect I can, from financial to strategy to the same art and letting go. So glad I could come here. I'm Ava and I'm completed.
Thank you, Ava. Please do share
Thank you,
your
Ava.
art Instagram here. We are your community and we love to support you. And thank you for sharing that. Now we have, can I just say we have so many hands up right now?
I
Thank
love
you,
that. I love so many
everybody.
hands up. Yes, share,
Yes.
share, share.
So we have Rancy next. Rancy, would you like to share?
Hey, what's up, guys? I am Ranzi Joyner. I'm in Waco, Texas, and I do brand strategy and development. And I'd say the experience I have learning, it's really simple. It's just videos, notes, and action. Not necessarily in that order. So that is typically how I learn things. And I've been doing graphic design since I was like 9 years old. So well over half my life. And yeah, now I'm doing brand strategy and development. So really enjoy it and glad to be here. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Rancy. You've been doing design since you were 9. What milk are you drinking? No, I'm kidding. We have Paul next and then Terrence. Paul, please do drop in.
Hey all, first and foremost, Sergio, feliz cumpleaños. Say what's up, Paul. I'm in Nairobi. I run a small agency called Red Below the Line. We do brand strategy and digital and basically creative. My experience in this digital revolution has been a mix of collaborating with individuals, learning from forums such as these, and then basically just enrolling in as many courses and trying to absorb as much from as many different opinions and thought leaders as I can. And then also one of the most exciting things for me right now is actually getting on Clubhouse and trying to get into rooms. Unfortunately, time zones are a bit of a problem, but I'm actually enjoying the community spirit, and that's the reason I'm back in this room for the second week. So thank you all, and thank you guys for rescuing and coming on board.
Of course, Paul. We're so happy you're able to come back. We really appreciate everyone who's participating. And so, welcome back. And you're always welcome. Now we have Terrence. Please,
yeah,
drop
what's up,
in.
guys?
What's
hey,
up?
My name is Terrence. Yeah, you know what it is. We got the energy in here. Let's do it. I am from Little Rock, Arkansas, in the United States. I'm one of those dudes who does. I used to think too many things, but I like being multi-passionate. So I kind of came here by way of being a music producer and a rapper primarily. But growing up as an indie artist, I realized I need graphics and videos. So I was like, oh shoot, let me learn that. And so just kind of self-taught, kind of designing album covers and music videos and all that stuff sort of evolved into me being the founding creative director at Lamar Haley, which is my agency. And so now we serve businesses with video and design and content and all that fun stuff. And so now that I've been on the journey of morphing it into a branding agency, I've begun my journey positioning myself as a brand strategist. So I recently went through core, and so my whole learning journey has just been, it's been dope, like mostly YouTube videos, online courses, communities like this. And I just love how everything that you want to know or need to know is right at your fingertips. And so I think it's a great time to be alive, a great time to learn something new. And I'm so happy to be here. And happy birthday to the homie today. I've missed your name. Sergio. I'm gonna mess it up. You know your name. Happy birthday,
Snaps
bro.
for Sergio.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yo, there we go.
I would like to say, like, thank you for everyone sharing in the chat. I would love to read it, but I think we have Katarina next. And
We have Katarina, yeah.
like, would love to hear you, but we've been reading it, and it's amazing what you guys are sharing, and thank you a lot for that. So Katarina, drop in.
Hi guys. So some of you may know me. Like, I am Mauricio's friend. I live in Brasilia, the capital of Brazil. And while I don't know, like, I begin to see a bit of this community through him, and I am so impressed. Like, this is such an amazing place. I've been here in like 2 weeks ago, but I was like in the end of the session and I was like, oh yeah, I'm a little bit shy. But currently I'm studying advertising and marketing at the university here, but I also love design and videos and music and animation and like all of that crazy stuff. I am like a multitask person, and this like digital experience has been so crazy because I love to do manual stuff, but I've been learning like how to edit videos and college and stuff like that. So yeah, this is currently I'm almost leaving my internship and I'm starting to work with Mauricio in our collective. And what else? Yeah, I think that's it. I'm really glad to be here. I know some of you like from the past meeting, and because of Mauricio and Adriana, like this is like amazing and it's such an opportunity, and I appreciate that so much. So thank you.
It's nice to hear your
Awesome.
voice, Katerina. Thank you for sharing. You know, unmuting yourself and owning the stage is something scary, but once you do it, it's addicting. No, I'm kidding.
It is. Look at us. We're on the
I
stage.
know, right? So with that, Pape, would you like to read some, or should we go with Sergio?
Let me go up again because I think
I can read a few. I can read a few if you want.
Yeah, go for it, Tino. Thanks a lot.
So I have one here from Roxana. So Roxana is a web designer from Mallorca, Spain. Online learning has been the best for me. I can learn every day something new and connect with amazing people. Learned more than the university. So thank you, Roxana, for sharing. That's amazing. I think a lot of people echo that sentiment. We have themes, Fahima. We have Fahima, a comm strategist, creative producer from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Mikma Ki, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. The ancestral and unceded territory of the Makima people. Mi'kmaq people, sorry. So thank you for sharing that, Fiends. We have Emily from Austin, Texas. She's a brand strategist, graphic designer. I'm so thankful for having access to so many different subjects and ways to approach them. Thank you, Emily, for sharing that. Emily's part of our first circle System Circle, Pape. I don't know if you recall. So one of the OGs from our group.
I do recall.
We have Matthew Andrews Narca, Matt, from Cebu, Philippines. What I do,
hey, brother.
aspiring. What I do, aspiring brand strategist, experience, lots of turns, zags, U-turns, constantly learning. So yeah, how many more do we have? Do we have a few more?
I think we can go to your last one, and then let's
Last
proceed
one?
to Sergio. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we have Christina Testana from Ontario, Canada. I'm a graphic designer and illustrator. Mine is a mix of traditional learning through college and now continue education through online programs that offer a coach with workbooks, courses, and online community. The kits have been the best for me. So thank you, Christina, for sharing. That's really cool feedback.
And that's the community.
Now, that's our
and
community.
We are complete.
Yeah, we are
so
complete.
Sergio, would you like to drop in the birthday boy?
Take it in from here. So the drop-in for me, and this will lead me to our topic today. I'm Sergio Ariza. I'm from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm a brand strategist and a workshopper. And my experience with learning during this digital online revolution is very diverse. I was a good student in school when I was a kid, but I got bored quickly and I have authority issues for some reason. I don't know why, but I didn't like teachers, nor directors or authority in general. So that's it. Then I tried college twice in 2 different countries and I dropped twice in 2 different countries in very different subjects. Like I was studying political science and I dropped. I was studying like audiovisual production or something fun like that, and I dropped as well. Why? Because I didn't admire my teachers. That's it. That's a reason. I thought it was too slow for me, and I was receiving outdated information most of the time, and I didn't feel like anything of it was fitting for the world that I wanted to live in. So those are my experiences with formal education. So as Pape, I didn't graduate from college or have a formal title or something like that. So instead, I created a roadmap, a learning roadmap for me. So I imagined my desired work. I want to work with people. I want to invent stuff and have an unpredictable job. So I deconstructed the reality that I wanted to live in regarding my job. And I identified a learning path. Okay, so I need to learn business. I need to learn design. And I need to learn marketing, for example. And then I was identifying the gaps that I have to fill with education, with content. So I designed this roadmap. And when you have the roadmap, when you have the ideas in a certain order, you can start consuming content. And what happens when you have ordered is that you can start with free content, with YouTube videos, podcasts, books, whatever. And then after the free content is full, you have gone through all of it, you can start buying courses and kits. So I stumbled into core and the future, and I started like acquiring these tools that helped me to become the professional that I am today. So that's rounding up my experience with education. And that leads me to what I wanted to share with you today. That is my process. So I don't know if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I shared with you some templates. I don't want to say templates because they are not templates, but I shared with you the process that I follow to use core and the document I produce. So what's different there, or what's new there? That I'm not a designer who learned core. I learned core and then I decided to become a designer, a business consultant, a workshop or whatever, but core is the step 1 for me, not the step 2. And that is the common case. So what the difference between other people and me when I use Core is that I use Core for graphic design projects, but also for business consultancy projects or communication strategy projects or whatever projects. I use Core for the color of the walls of my house, actually. So I will start sharing the process again, this time live with you, and we will be digging deeper into why I take some decisions instead of others, and then we will have a space to do Q&A, and yeah, you can ride along with us. So if we have any question now before we dive deeper into the process and the Miro space and what I do when I onboard the clients and all of that, will be nice to hear it now. But if not, I can continue on jumping. What do you guys think?
Yes.
I see you jump in.
Yeah, I think there was a question from MJK. He was asking, like, maybe you can clarify between roadmap and framework. Or I can help a little bit with that, because from what I've heard, Sergio said, like, just to mirror what you just said, is Sergio approached himself in a, like, no, maybe Sergio, you can do it. But what I was wanting to say is that you created your own roadmap with, like, your own curriculum, like for university, and then you went looking for the stuff you wanted to learn, and that was your roadmap. You said, I want to work here. This is where I want to be, and you created like a plan to achieve that, and that's how you've been moving along. And then you've been using either frameworks or online workshops, like frameworks like Core or other frameworks, and making them your own. I don't know if that clarifies, or is that's resonate with you, Sergio, or?
Yeah, that was perfect. The thing is that I don't know what I want to be in terms of a job description, because I know half of the amazing jobs there's going to be in 15 years has no name at this moment. Maybe they don't exist at the moment. So I identified some qualities and abilities I want to have in order to get those projects. So I like virtual reality, blockchain, consultancy, design, strategy. So what do I have to learn to do something fun with this? And that's the roadmap. It's like a curriculum for me, because if I study graphic design or something in any university, the curriculum is set, and it's set for works that exist today. So that boggles me, and that's why I did my own roadmap. So I hope that clarifies the question.
And also, that's our theme, social learning, and we are each other's teachers. So, Sergio, would you like to share your roadmap?
Yeah, okay. I'm going to share not the roadmap. The roadmap is like my education goals and all of that. I can share that with you, but today we are going to see my process using Core. So a couple of things before sharing my screen and all of that. I use Core on a remote basis. I only done Core face-to-face like 5 times in my life, something like that. I prefer remote facilitation because it's cheaper, because I work with clients in Europe, not so much in Latin America, not yet anyways. So all I have to is the remote option. So that's why you are going to see me working a lot on the Miro template or using online tools and all of that. So let's jump in. I'm going to start sharing my screen.
Before, Sergio, I think Terrence wanted to say something, so let's just open.
Okay.
It's all yours.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I just realized my hand was still raised from before. Yeah, it took me like the whole intro to find the hand raise button. So
that's okay, brother.
I'm so sorry, y'all. Hold on.
No,
okay,
no, don't worry.
Lower
okay,
hand.
so let's share the screen.
It's fine.
Okay, so let's start sharing my screen. You guys will see it in a second. Okay, so I have my remote stack for using Core: email, Basecamp, and Miro. I hope this gives you some idea of how to run or facilitate Core when do it remotely. Yeah, if you have any question, just interrupt me because I'm not seeing you at this moment. I'm just seeing the space that we are in. So what do we have here? We have a lot of pages with exercises, and you guys are going to see that we don't have Core here. I mean, we have Core, but we have other stuff as well. And that's because I mix it up with other frameworks that I get from the internet, and my friends introduced me to other stuff and all of that. So let's start with the space. This is nothing special or original. I want to say that clearly and loudly. This is not original. I copied the format from AJ and Smart. It's a product design and innovation consulting company in Berlin. I love those guys. I think they are brilliant. And they shared a template, and I based this on their template. So if you want the source, AJ and Smart, okay? So we have the logo of my company, very pretentious there. We have a brief explanation of what's a brand strategy workshop for my clients. This is in Spanish, but you guys can ask me anything if you don't understand. And then we have the rules: participate, say anything, and have a good time. Basically the rules of Core framework. Then we have the agenda. When I do things with my clients and those things involve brand strategy, we do a workshop of 2 days. Day 1, 4 hours, and we go from alignment, concept, mission, and vision to something called advantage pyramids, audiences, and next steps. And then we have the second day, 5 hours and a half. Personas, brand attributes, brand cost clustering, all of that. I added a golden circle and a narrative exercise here. And then we go to the goals and data matching. So that's the second day. After that, I do the back end work, producing the documents, synthesizing the information and all of that. So you guys have a clear understanding and a better look of the exercises. This is it. It's basically everything right here. And if you want access to the template that you don't have it yet, because I shared it before, just ask me. But what's important here? The mechanics. If you have used Core before, it's based on conversation, on deep conversations. I think that's the Aurelio's style, like digging deeper and having deep conversations around topics, attributes, and all of that. My style is a bit different because I like to do this as fast as I can. I like quantity, not necessarily quality at the first moment. So there are 3 mechanics that come into place here, and these 3 mechanics are not original by any means. They are on the sprint methodology that Jake Knapp invented. Those are work together alone. That's why you see many sticky notes, because everyone, instead of talking and letting their feelings like invade the room and create these meaningful and deep discussions, I prefer they using sticky notes and noting everything they have on mind, but alone, without discussing it with me or with the other members of the workshop, whatever. I just prefer they note everything by themselves, and then we vote. Speaking of voting, we have dot voting. Those little red marks that you see here are used to vote on the ideas that we want to prioritize, okay? And the third principle, besides together alone, note and vote, is the time bracketing, or the time, I don't know how to say it in English, time boxing is the term. So if you see, when we have a new exercise, it says the number of the step, this is paso 3. We are talking about the mission, and we have 65 minutes to talk about this. How do we divide this 65 minutes? You have it here in the instructions. That's not important right now, but everything, every single sticky note has a timestamp. And that's very, very important for me, because otherwise I start to get quality instead of quantity. And that's not my style, not at the beginning anyways. So that's the main remote space. And the challenge is when you do this like in person, you have like photos, the sticky notes are real, clients can see it, and everything is like recorded, or you can save anything in some way. But in digital, maybe the client don't see that as you can see it. So I use other tool. Now let's get down there. And this is Basecamp. I don't know how to describe Basecamp. It's like a project management, client relationship tool that I use. You can use the free plan. This is my personal account. That's why there's only one project here. But I wanted to show you how to use this. So let's say you get a client and it's a goal. You are going to do a brand strategy workshop for them. So you add them here. You set the tasks that you have to do. You upload the documents that you need to upload, and then you can onboard people for the tools that you're using. So I use a tool that lets me like record the screen while recording my face. It's called Loom for your browsers. You can download it. So I talk about using Basecamp and using Miro on those videos. So my clients, whether they are techie or not, can use the tools and have a good time in the workshop without having any technical issues. That's the first thing that I do. It's an onboarding. And then after the workshop, I just upload every screenshot here. So when you do it, you have the backup. If something happens, if you need to redo the workshop like 6 months later, a year later, you have the reference of what you did. So this is like the mechanics and the technical aspect of all of that. And I wanted to talk to you about, see, after the workshop, we prioritize everything, we work together, and we produce a document, as the document I shared with you before. And that's it. That's like the backlog of the things that we have to do, the workshop backup and all of that. But I wanted to share as well something that is like how I use Core or how I see Core. And I need to do it like doing a mess on my screen. So we have, let's go to notes. This will do it. So let's do a new note. Okay, so Core for many people is like the end of the thing, or maybe it's some space in between, but for me it's different. For me, Core is the stage 0 of my services. So we have Core here, and I want to make sure that you guys are seeing my screen. Are you seeing it?
Yes, we can see it. Yes, we can see it, Sergio.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
Pape. Yeah, Pape.
Core is the stage 0. After I do Core, I deliver a document. Let's call it, sorry for my handwriting, that this is awful, but you guys understand. Brand strategy guidelines. That's the document I shared on Facebook. So at this stage, this is stage 1, I don't know what the client will need after. If there's a graphic design project, a web design project, a strategic and marketing, a business development project, I don't know any of it, because the project can go 2 ways. It can go, oh, shoot. It can go up here to sensitive things, or it can go here to strategic assets. So what are those things? Sensitive things are things that we can see or understand with our senses, messaging, logos, a video, packaging, everything that has to do with production and with execution directly. And strategic assets are business models, decks, basically everything that has to do with planning, like messaging strategy, marketing strategy, business model, expansion building strategy, or business incubation roadmap, everything that has to do with that. And I have the same source for two main category services, and the source is core. So this is the stage 2. And then we have the I hope I'm writing this in the nice way. And we have the same thing here. And this is the stage 3. This is the thing that I deliver, whether it's a deck, a PowerPoint presentation, a business model planning, whatever, whether it's a logo, a music video, a web design project, I don't know, whatever it be. So this is the way I see core. I see core as the starting point, because what it allows me to do is very, very, very wide. It can be used for strategy, for messaging, for, I don't know, writing a book, or it can be used to build a logo, a stylescape, whatever. So I wanted to share that with you, because often we see core as a framework that we can use only to make logos and pretty things like that, but it's more than that. I mean, it's the key to a way of working that allows you to give value to your clients in ways you can't imagine yet. So I started using core to build logos, but then I discovered them. I can deliver value in a lot of ways if I use the goals settings exercise. That's the most important exercise for me. And I discovered this way of thinking, and so far it has been great. It has allowed me to diversify my career and what I know and the relationship that I have with my clients, the kind of projects that I can work on, and it has plenty of fun inside this way of thinking. So that's it for me for the sharing part. I hope this is helpful for anybody. Don't be like scared of trying to break things. If I can do it, and I'm a kid with 25 years, 26 today, you guys can do it too. So if you have any question, if you need like access to the board, to any document, to whatever, just let me know and I'll share with you. I'm Sergio. I'm complete.
Can we give snaps to Sergio? That was mind blowing. My gosh.
Snaps.
Look at the
we have a few
process.
hands up, Patricia.
Yes, we do.
have a few
But
hands up.
before that, can we go to our sharing rules? Tino, can you introduce that? And then let's go to our core Q&A.
Yes, I sure will. Hold on 1 second.
And while we go there, I would just want to say, like, Sergio, thank you for sharing that and sharing your perspective. I agree with you in so many levels about core and how it's viewed, and that is more than just a brand strategy framework. I also use it mostly for planning and alignment and to building relationship with clients. You know, that's why I go deep into quality and going deep into like conversations with client, because that's where I get the feedback, and that's the data that helps me design. But as we know here, everyone has their own method, and thanks a lot for sharing your side and your perspective. I look forward to become like you, so organized, and with all those stuff that you're showing is like, what the fuck is going on?
Said he was a beacon, and that's amazing. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, guys, so we're gonna continue now with, first of all, we wanted to share this here. We are each other's teachers, and while Sergio knows Kung Fu, we wanted to share that we all know a lot of different aspects of a lot of different things. So we wanted to open up the floor for the core Q&A. and we wanted to share the rules first, just to kind of set the ground rules for how we're gonna run this Q&A here for now. So we've kind of set them before. So when we ask questions, and more specifically when we answer questions, we want to speak from the me or from the I. So we want to give advice from our personal perspective. So don't give advice from like, you should do it this way, but speak from the I. Like, I've done it this way, or I've seen so and so do it this way. So we basically want to make sure that we're giving either good advice that we actually practice ourselves, or that we've seen others do it, or we worked with others that have done it. So here are some examples that we wanted to share with you guys. So just to keep it safe and make sure that we're all following along with something that's safe for everyone. And with that, we can continue our core Q&A. And we want to encourage everybody. We already see some hands up, and that's great. We want to see more hands up. We want to encourage everybody to unmute yourselves. That's going to be our theme for the Q&A. Unmute yourselves. We want to hear voices. Of course, submit questions through the chat. We'll try our best to monitor those on the chat, but please unmute yourselves and let's hear those questions, and we'll try our best as a community to answer. We don't have our masters readily available right now to answer, but we have the emergency broadcast team here
we have the community
to help, and we have the community.
Yes, we
So
do.
we're gonna help each other answer our questions, and so we want to encourage people to step up and help us answer these questions from our experiences and how we practice core. So let's get started.
Yes. So the first hand up, I'll call in order of how we saw them. So we have David, and then
Emerson.
and then who's next, Pape?
Joanna also raised her hand, but I think.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Let's
David would
David.
love to listen to you.
Hey guys, David here. Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Awesome, guys. So I've been a designer for a little over 20 years, and it's fantastic to see this room and see so many young people like breaking into design or starting off their career. It's pretty amazing. So with COVID that happened last year and everybody being more remote, my question is more about the usability when doing a workshop. A lot of the clients I work with, especially some of the stakeholders, they can be like older people that aren't so digitally savvy. So when you're working through a Miro file, I can kind of see two things, and Sergio, let me know. I know you've done this about 5 times. Typically when I do a presentation, Tino, I'm trying to use the I give them something that's like premeditated or something I've thought through, and I'm walking them through it. But now with a workshop, you're interacting a lot more. So when you have that older stakeholder, do you onboard them before like the Miro work, or do you suggest they have a younger person running the computer with them? No, or do you do some of the work for them? Like, do you place thoughts and type on their behalf? I'm kind of curious as your opinion on that. Thanks.
Sure, brother. Thank you for your question. What I do, if I assure that my client feels comfortable, I don't care if we cannot use the Miro space. I'm happy pointing a camera at a whiteboard and working with them in that way. Even if I have to write all the words myself. But what I usually do is I send the onboarding video to them a week before the workshop. And I leave a homework or an assignment in that video to see if they got the point and if they figured out how to use the platform. I also can recommend using something called butter, like mantequilla in English, butter. It's a great platform. It makes workshopping online very, very collaborative and engaging. It's amazing. I just recently discovered, that's why it is in my presentation because I'm testing it, but so far so good.
Thank you. That's a great answer. So I think what I'm hearing from you is don't rely on the tools as being the ultimate solution. Use whatever works and document what you can and make
tool agnostic. That's like my mantra, tool agnostic.
That's amazing. Thank you, Sergio. That's good.
And then we have Emerson next. Emerson, hello, welcome.
Hi guys. Well, I'm glad I was able to join today. Very interesting conversation. Love the workflow that was presented. Actually, very close to things that I do. And I was a little surprised when Sergio said that he runs core at the beginning, because I assumed that that was the case for everybody. I mean, I haven't been able to join these sessions longer, so I couldn't really know the experience of each one with core. But I appreciate running core at the beginning. One of the things that I love about core the most is how focused on the design thinking of things is. Basically bringing clarity from the beginning in terms of the simple questions that are usually the toughest to answer if you overthink. Design thinking clears the path for you of overthinking, and then you focus on the simple questions that typically hold the answers. So I love that, running core at the beginning and letting that. Actually, you know, I've imagined things. I'm working on a project currently with Tino and Patricia here, where I'm thinking the different cycles that we might need to run core along the line. Basically, not just once, but you know, eventually you might need to bring the design thinking again. So from that perspective, do you have a way to select which frameworks or which other tools you use that are easily plug and play? I've done this before, and for me, what works best is if you use frameworks and tools that are equally design thinking oriented and equally with the, you know, the digital product development techniques and practices that we use, as well as brand strategy. So anything that is connected through design thinking, for me, it's been an easy transition to plug and play with core and other tools. Is that your experience? And if so, how do you actually pick you know, those tools when you bring something in or out when something didn't work for you?
Okay, does anybody in the audience can share his or her experience with this? I have my experience, but I love to know if anybody else has used core in conjunction with other framework. If not, I can just get into the answer. I think Chloe. Yeah, Chloe, come on.
Yeah, hey. So usually when I'm picking the exercises that I want to use, it depends on the problem I'm trying to solve, and that's really how I go about it. So depending on what it is my client is trying to get to, or what I've told my client I can help them get to, that's how I sort of pick the exercises from the bunches of different frameworks that I use. Yeah, I know that's not a super specific answer, but just sort of generally, that's what I do. So
I can share something, Sergio.
That's perfect, Chloe. Go ahead, Patricia.
So for that, what we do from questions of what to run, currently we have a project now where we're running a stakeholder mapping, like who needs to be in that meeting, who needs to be, because it's quite a big scale project. So we're running a stakeholder mapping exercise to know which exercise will work for that particular. So they're working with different departments. So do we need to include the finance department? Do we need to include the marketing department or the recreation department? So what we do is we're running stakeholder mapping first to see who the key decision makers are, and then from there we contain the project. What's the deliverable after? What do we want to achieve? Because sometimes we're lost in the data and all of that. So what we found helpful is we contain the project. Okay, we will deliver strategy, branding, and a website. Now, what type of exercises is useful for this project? So key would be user profiles, brand attributes for the content and all that. So we believe that yes, we can you can plug and play and actually pair it with other frameworks. So I hope that. So that's from my experience. I'm Patricia and I'm complete.
Thank you, Patricia. I wanted to add something real quick there. I like Chloe's answer because it's very similar to mine. What works for me is to take every design thinking template there is and match it to a question, because they actually answer questions. So brand attributes answer the question, how's your brand? What do you stand for? Business canvas answer the question, what do you do for a living? How does business work? So I match every template / exercise to a question, and depending of the question that I need to answer with my client, I choose the exercise. Sometimes I need to choose to answer the question about how's your brand. Sometimes I don't. So that's the plug and play mechanism responds to that, to identifying what questions answer each exercise. So I hope that that helps.
I hope you guys don't mind a follow up on that one. Kind of my own idea of how to do it, but so I'm assuming you play around with these things way before you even consider using it. So preparation, I guess, is the key. You need to know how the tool will work and if it will work for you before you even attempt to try it.
Yeah, I did core for free like 15 times. And I do core for free for my friend each time I had a dinner with them or having wine or playing Xbox. I do core like for breakfast. So that's why it comes natural for me to start answering those questions with the exercises. I'm just a nerd, and that's it. I'm
Cool.
Sergio and I'm complete.
If I could jump in, because that's actually a really good question.
Yes, please go ahead, Chloe.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I've done core and a bunch of frameworks a lot, which is why I kind of know the questions that the different exercises answer. I think a really good place to start, at least this is where I started, is sort of looking at the questions that each exercise says that it answers, right? In like the videos and things that you're watching initially. And then once you get more comfortable with that, then start branching out and saying, okay, I wonder if I could use this exercise to answer this question. And that's when you start sort of like creating and stuff starts to get a bit fun. So those are my thoughts.
Thank you, Chloe. And EQ, did we answer your question?
Absolutely. It's almost like I'm getting answers to my own feelings. I wanted to, in a way, figure out if everybody was doing it the same way that I have. The other thing, though, is that I'm really interested in combining the frameworks as a way of teaching people how to think in terms of product development. I mean, literally, to me, is one of the values of core is how it has stripped down what seemed to be a very complex project into very individual small tasks. And I think there's a lot of value in teaching the thinking of doing things that way rather than just the framework. So my questions come from that perspective. I'm figuring out what's the best way to teach the design thinking aspect of core and all the frameworks that we use without really having to teach the techniques, just the thinking itself as a practice in life. And that's where these questions are coming from. Very, very interested. I really, really appreciate it. They answer my questions.
Wow. Thanks a lot for that, Emerson.
Thanks for sharing, Emerson. Yeah.
I would say that from what I hear from you, it would be amazing to hear your story, how you apply it, because like your questions also validate you, and I think it would be amazing to see it from your perspective. So if at any time you would be open, like to share, I don't know, Keone, if that's possible, but would be amazing. And anyone here, like Jose taught me this from the beginning, like never cease, like apologize myself from speaking. So like this is the conversation, and I think it's been amazing, like to hear everyone speak. Like that's where we get the value. And before moving on, it would be also nice to people that are new, that are not related with core or brand strategy. Like if you have any questions, like do you know what core is? Because I know we've been like going deep into like something that might not have context for you. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Feel free to ask Keone or Mary or anyone in the Facebook group. Like we're here. This is an ongoing conversation. So I'm Pape.
Pape, there's a question in the chat from Matthew And he's asking, what is the precursor of core? When doing the discovery with the client, do you need to already know extensive details about the company? Because the video in the core starts directly with brand attributes. And this is not a question for you, but a question for the community, like or anybody that would like to answer, like, what is the precursor of core? And do you need to already know extensive details about core? Because the video starts with brand attributes already. So would anybody like to take that on?
Yeah, if I can, from my experience, the first meeting and the approach before, like going from lead to actually becoming a client or becoming like a project, that stage before the first meeting, the clarifying questions for sending a proposal, that's where I get some context of what will happen. But core is where I discovered this core. I guess it's called core discovery because that's where you open up the doors to your client, and that's where you realize how big the project is. Like when you get to the goals prioritization, like you will understand a little bit more about the revenue of the company. You will learn more about where they are in their awareness goals. You will learn more about where they are and the effectiveness. You will also get to meet the team. You will get to meet like the energy between the team. So I would say, like, you don't really need to know, but sometimes what I've done is I do some research online, like for the client profiles. I go into their Instagram, I look into some of their clients, if they're companies, I research that company. I try to get a little bit more context just to be a little prepared. And I used to do that when I didn't feel confident enough to deal with the exercise because I didn't have experience. But after a year, I tried to let them talk, and I tried to listen. So I hope that answers the question. I don't know if anyone else, maybe Bobby, you would jump into that and share from your perspective.
I know there's people in the chat that are contributing to the conversation as well.
And
Keone,
we have Dexter's hand up. Dexter?
Oh, Dexter. Yeah.
Dexter, sorry.
But before we go into Dexter, I hope Matthew that clarifies or let me know if I didn't answer your question. Please drop on the chat. If there's a follow-up question, we'll try to get back to that. But for now, Dexter, you had your hand up.
What's happening, everybody? For me, one thing I like to know before going into core, not necessarily, I guess, like the specifics of business, but I like to know why you're doing what you're doing. Like, why did you take the time to invest in, doing core versus just getting someone to do your logo or finding some other solution? So there's an importance to you that you've decided to take that step. So now if I can invest in why you're doing this and what drives your purpose for, going this route, then I can better facilitate, because now it's like, okay, I'm understanding your why. So now that when I facilitate core, I'm understanding where you're coming from. Because when I do core, I like to tell myself this ain't even about me. So now that I can understand from your perspective why you're here, why you're doing what you're doing, why this is important to you, why you're passionate about your business. Now, when we do attributes, I can have that in mind. Okay, they told me this. Okay, what about this attribute? Or, what does this attribute mean to you? So more so, finding their why kind of gives me the key to, facilitating better. And I am Dexter, and I am complete.
Dexter.
Thank you,
yes,
brother.
Of course, Paul.
So basically what we do with most of our clients is, like, on the first meeting, and I usually tend to do this more as a conversation more rather than as an interview, is basically ask a set of questions where we talk about their business, their customers, their industry, their competitors, their problems, our specific agency and what we do, and questions about their brand, and also about our experience. And the key to doing this is just framing it in a way where it seems like a conversation. So you're asking, instead of asking, what are your profits like? Instantly, you say, how's business? Are you doing well this year? How did the pandemic affect your business? Customers, are your customers usually in the rural areas? And this, do you deal with guys? Do you like city dwellers? Where are your customers based? So you bring it up conversationally before in your first 1 or 2 discovery meetings, and with that information, you make mental notes, or you take actual notes, and then when you go into doing core, because I interacted with core when it was still the school and the future school back in the day, and I had to figure it out because I couldn't find the files. So now that I got the actual information, it's helped me in terms of improving my skills and my experience in terms of offering my clients more. But it's key to have that discovery meeting, because you need to gain as much knowledge as you can about the business before you actually start designing for them. So I think that's a key point. Paul, and I'm out.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it, man.
Thank
That's
you,
a great
Paul.
share. Thank you.
And let me read what Bobby said. He said, I don't like knowing nothing about the client before I meet them. I want the consultation to lead why they called me and why we're meeting. If I can take them on then I would facilitate it this way: alignment, analysis, objectives, strategy, programs, plan and budget, and in strategy, brand attributes, competitive audit, customer segmentation, user profile, and positioning. That's fire.
And we have Dexter's hand up.
That's
Dexter.
fire. Yeah.
I forgot to put it back down, my bad.
It's cool. We're good. So I think we have, if we have more, if we can take 2 more questions and then we can proceed with our upload, because we are, for the interest of respecting everyone's time, we have the community. We have our Facebook group. We will drop it on the chat, our group, so you can join. You can ask questions there, and the community will be there to help you answer all those questions. But for now, Tino, would you like to share or upload?
Sure.
Thank you, everyone, for answering all the questions. Sergio, for sharing your process with us. And thank you for raising your hand up and unmuting yourself. So we are each other's teachers. And now we appreciate everyone's answer and helping out.
All right.
So go for it, Tino.
Cool. So yeah, thank you to all the community for your help in sharing and answering all these questions. You guys helped each other out. We all helped each other out tremendously. And now it's time for the upload. And our upload for today is, what was one valuable thing you got from today's broadcast? And feel free to unmute yourself again or share in the chat, and we'll read some of those out in a little bit. So
I want to moderate it real quick.
Sure. Sergio, go ahead and moderate.
One thing I got up today was explaining my process, because each time you explain something, you reframe it, rediscover it like it's for the first time. So thank you for the opportunity of doing that. Thank you for your birthday wishes. That's amazing coming from you. So thank you very much for being here. And I really love this community, man.
Awesome. I'll go next. I'll share one valuable thing I got from today's broadcast was that I overcame a pretty big, not a fear, but an insecurity. And that's of, presenting to a big global community, or helping present. And this is pretty cool. It's amazing, and it's a great opportunity, and I highly recommend it to anyone that wants to give it a shot. It's awesome working with everyone here and just co-creating. I mean, that's what the system is all about. Core has helped tremendously in getting me to this point to be able to now help facilitate one of our sessions, and it's pretty cool.
And we have John. Hopefully I said it right, John.
I think it's, is it Jan? Right? Montoya?
Okay.
Hey,
Hello,
Jan.
how's it going? Can you see me? Is it okay?
Yes, we can see you and we
Okay.
can hear you.
Fantastic. All right. So I think one of the things that I'm really interested, I've done core a few times already on practicing, and I'm actually doing it on my first real client on over the weekend. So I've been in design and advertising for quite a long time, but one of the things that I never really felt quite good about was doing sort of like the actual strategy portion of it. So this has been great. One of the things that I really got out of it today, and what I've been sort of realizing, is that there's just so many different ways to do it, and there isn't any one or right way to do it. And sometimes I know for myself, I kind of get hung up on that, like, okay, what is the way to do it? And as I've been listening to everybody, and I'm realizing that, and it makes so much sense, it seems so obvious, which is you have to do what's appropriate for your client. And so it makes me kind of take a breath, feel better about it, and thank you for allowing me that space to not freak out.
Thank you for unmuting yourself, Jan.
Yeah, thank you, Jan. Appreciate it.
Totally.
So who else want to share?
Yeah, I challenge someone else to unmute themselves. Let's go.
I'll mute myself.
Yeah.
Following up on what Jan said, because I love it. Here's the thing. I know for a fact, knowing design thinking, that there is not a right way or a wrong way. But I'm an engineer at the very core of myself. So I always think, is there a right way or a wrong way? And I try to avoid at all costs the wrong way. Yeah, that's just what an engineer does. But the thing is, letting go of that is probably one of the most important things when trying to really practice this type of framework. Knowing that the benefit of the framework is not really running the process, but the results that you get at the end, and how easy it makes it to get to that result. So I agree with Jan. It's actually one of the things that it's a confirmation, if anything, confirmation bias for me, because I knew that was the case. You don't run it right or wrong. It's really, you do what is appropriate for the case and what's best for your client, and what will give you the best answers for it. So getting that confirmation multiple times today throughout my questions and through your comments, and even Sergio's explanation of his processes, is a way to reinforce the core belief that you're doing it right by just focusing on what your client needs and the perfect situation for what you're trying to accomplish.
Thank you very
Thanks
much,
for
brother.
sharing. Yeah, thank you, EQ. Appreciate it.
And I think we have one and a few on the chat, but before that, I'd like to share my upload, if I may. The
Yes.
valuable thing I learned from this broadcast, and I want to echo what Jan said, you are not alone. And yes, we are not, with the community that we have. I'd like to share a bit of background story of how this call came together. They said they're stuck in San Francisco, laid over, and what do we do with the community? We got each other's back. And so we told them, we got this, relax. And so we had an emergency Zoom meeting, and this is the product of that. This is the community. And I'd like to say my gratitude to each and every one of you. The fact that a lot of you raised your hands, it's that stepping up is scary, but it's really, really rewarding. Call to action is, if there's fear and it's uncomfortable, that's where the growth lies. So I'm Patricia, and I'm complete.
Thank you, Patricia. That's awesome.
Thank you, Patricia, for that.
I'll follow up Patricia really quick. My upload was kind of connected to hers. I heard someone, it was like his name is Ray, and he's one of the directors at Nike. And he was talking about how he jumps into rooms like this or Clubhouse because he spends so much time designing that he needs practice speaking. So when you guys get up here and speak and you hear yourselves and you see the reactions, you're getting practice for how to talk to your clients too. And it's only going to help you in your business. So that's it. Thank you for reminding me of that. So this is David, and I'm done. Thank you.
Thanks,
you,
David.
David, and
That's very
welcome.
true.
Hi there. Another David is talking now. I was just wanted to say thank you to Sergio. The thing I learned that was most important about today is understanding that each framework you use, regardless of which one you actually use, each of them has an overarching question that is there to help you answer the part of your process. And sometimes that can be lost. So thanks, Sergio.
No, thank you, man, for coming and staying together until the end.
I'll read a few from the chat if unless anybody else wants to unmute yourself. But we have Joanna from the chat here. Joanna, it says this is a powerful and intelligent community, so the teaching principle is always active. Inception, she says. We have
Coreception.
Matthew. Conception, yeah. We have Matthew. Matthew says, one thing I learned is that the core discovery framework is a living tool that can be shaped and adapted to our own individual process. That's very true. I do believe that. So thank you for sharing that, Matthew. Let's see if we keep going.
We have Rancy's hand up. Rancy, would you like to share your upload?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Clearly, yes.
All right, cool. Yeah, I would say just even learning about Miro. I like anytime I get on Instagram, Facebook, like any social media, I don't know about you guys, but I'm like bombarded with like different tools and like all this stuff. So I'm just like really numb to that. And so finding an actual software that is really useful is really big for me. So yeah, just yeah, thankful Sergio shared that. And yeah, I plan to look into it and use it if I can. So
thank you, my brother. You're welcome.
We have Chloe in the chat chiming in. She's mentioning that remembering to keep the strategy sessions conversational, a really good reminder. So that's her big her upload and her valuable thing she got from today. And just want to remind you guys to unmute yourselves. Let's hear your voices. But I'll keep looking here in the chat.
Hey guys, so yeah, I wanted to tell you that I admire all of you here so much. Like honestly, I think this is so special and so unique. Being like here and listening to you guys, and today was like Sergio's an opportunity to like share his process and stuff like that, and people were like saying about theirs, and it's really nice to see how we are so different but we are so similar at the same time. Like we are here for a purpose. I think everyone wants to grow up, and at least I feel that. So thank you for sharing. I really am so impressed. Like I feel so positive here, and you guys are amazing, and thank you so much for everything here.
Snaps to that.
Snaps to that, Katarina.
Thanks, Katarina. Thank you.
Hope to see you soon again here.
Thank you.
I'll definitely try to be here more. Like it's so hard for me, but it's so amazing that I want to leave like everything in my life just to be here. So yeah, I'll try to be there so much.
Snap attack. Oh, we have Paul. Paul, did you want to?
I just wanted to say one thing I learned from Dave and Sergio. I really appreciate you sharing your process. Is the importance of pre-planning and practicing as much as possible wherever you can. It's with whomever you can, especially friends, family, or anyone you think might help. So I'm actually conducting a small business workshop with people who are not actually paying me anything, but just seeing if I could help their brands. So I encourage everyone here to practice as much as possible and get their practice in. So when you actually get in front of your larger paying clients, you can actually deliver more value for them. So appreciate you all, and this Paul out.
Thank you, Paul. It's great to see you here again, okay? And thank you for sharing. Thank you for your insights. And sure, if you want to take the conversation going, just shoot me up a message and we'll keep it there, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Will do.
I think with that, let's go into, as we land today's session and today's core office hours brought to you by the Systm Emergency Response Team. Go to the next slide, Tino. So if you want to join and if you're interested for the Accelerator program, please reach out to Keone. We will drop his email on the chat if you have any questions for that. But for now, we'd like to share our outro for it's okay.
Sorry.
You know.
That's not the screen, right?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's a live show.
Make it messy.
We'll want them for us to tag us on Instagram. We are the Systm, and we can also use the hashtag core is magic.
Oh, here's Keone's email just in case.
Keone
in case
at
anybody wanted to.
thesystem.com.
Yeah.
If you have any
I'll
questions
put it in the chat too.
Thank you, Mauricio. So here's our group. Please join us, Brand Strategy Foundations. Mauricio dropped the link, and he can drop it again later. So if you're not part of that yet, there you can ask your questions and the community can pitch in and help you. And we're there.
And you can share your favorite anime show as well.
Or you can share your favorite music, your favorite pet.
Yeah.
Favorite cuisine. No. Everyone's welcome. And please tag us on Instagram at We Are The Systm, at Keone Chong, at Mary with A Gribben, at Jose Caballer. And please use hashtag core is magic and hashtag We Are The Systm. We'd like to see what you learned from today's broadcast and what you enjoyed. So.
And before we go, and if you allow me, I will end landing this just to Keone, Mary, and Jose. Share the gratitude. Thank you for creating this safe container, safe space for all of us to speak up. We can only do this because of the year and a half that you guys have been behind this. So thank you for the confidence that you've helped us grow, like all of us. And I'm sure many of the people that I see here in the screens, we will continue to speak up. More people will unmute themselves. And this is just the beginning. This container was created by you three, and that's amazing. That's a validation. Whenever you doubt, just remember this moment, this first time you let the control go and the emergency broadcast system came. Like, we're here, and I'm sure it will keep growing. So without further ado, this is the Systm. Thank you everyone for being here.
We want to do.
I'd say something.
Oh, Rafael, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm taking up the challenge. I don't know what mic works for me. I don't know which one is attached to the computer. I don't know if you guys can hear me well, but I'm pretty sure that somebody would have said something. I was going to say courage. You know, the courage that we all have, the courage that we're willing to take that step, and that's what I learned today. So here we are, running the room, or rather, you guys running the room for Jose, for Keone, and for Mary, and they have the courage to allow the community to do their work. And so today I learned a lot about Jose's superpower. With that, I'm complete.
Thank you, Rafa. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafa.
That's a mic drop.
Before we go, we want to ask the community, and we'll show everyone, if you can all join us, if you would like, to sing happy birthday to Sergio, our community member. If you have, if you're willing
I'm
to
going to start crying.
showcase your voice.
I need you
That's
to.
awesome.
So
Please
on
cry.
the
We
count
want
of
to see you
three,
cry.
on the count of three, if you could join us in
3,
singing happy birthday to Sergio, we'll start.
2,
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Sergio. 8 to 5, whatever.
Happy
Happy birthday to you.
love you, Sergio.
Okay. Woo! Happy birthday, Sergio. Blessings and blessings.
You're awesome. You're just. Thank you. Thank you for that. I think. Just. I don't know. This is the best way to spend your birthday. You should try it.
Love you. How about the original? Can we hear from MJK? They've been unmuted since the start, and we'd like to hear them before we drop out.
Yeah, unmute yourself.
MJK.
Oh boy, here we go. Y'all killed it. I mean, we're
humbled.
humbled.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Bravo.
And
Thank you.
yeah, this isn't about us, you know, us being here and the work that we've been doing has really been how can we elevate you as creatives, as individual in your own journeys. And this is exemplary, man. Like we're grateful. Sergio, feliz cumpleaños, hermano. You know,
Gracias, hermano.
And you know, we don't want to say too much, so we're gonna just step back out into the background. But for each and every one of you guys here, this is for you, for Terrence, Katarina, welcome, bienvenidos, right? OG Bobby, who can't even speak, David, who's just coming out here, Shaquille, Pape, Paul. I mean, man, I could go on forever. So we're just sitting here basking in the brilliance that is each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you,
And
guys.
that's
Thank you.
Core Office
Thank you, everyone,
Hours
for being
number
here.
18. And thank you.
And I think that's it. We did it.
You did
You guys
Told you we didn't mess up.
Can we stop recording now? No. Yay. Thank you so much, everyone.